Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Raj Talks Games, and today I thought it was time that we do a pickups video. I haven't done a pickups video in a couple of months, and I've gotten quite a few pickups during that amount of time. You may remember me saying that, like, after I gained back too many games, I was like, no more pickups, none, it's too much money. As Justin would say, as he always says, every time I buy a game, pretty much within 4 or 5 months of too many games, the bender continues. So I've got a number of games here for a number of systems, actually. And I've got some vinyl that's not video game related, but I thought, I'm a big lover of music. Those of you who don't know, I used to be a music teacher. I taught high school and middle school, like competitive show choir, and general music. And even though I lost the love for teaching and left that profession, I still have the massive love for music, so I thought, maybe I'll start sharing vinyl pickups. I don't get vinyl very often, but I was, when in Rome yesterday, I guess I was at a game store with some games off of vinyl and found some pickups that I thought I'd like. You hear a bag rattling, which you might have just now. It is Turbo wreaking havoc, as always. So anyways, I think we're set. We got a cold brew that I just made up in my Walt Disney World Starbucks tumbler. I love this thing. It's one of my favorite things I've gotten at Disney over the last several years. Disney World Fanatic. We've been there talking about it. Got Irish cream with some half and half. And of course cold brew, and that is Kathy's Claws on top of the mini fridge. Love the coffee. So anyways, let's dive right into the pickups. So what I want to start with is, you may remember during the Too Many Games video that I mentioned that I had gotten a deal that I couldn't refuse for some games that I had been looking for, that it was a great price on. And I have since received those, obviously, and I thought I would share it in this video because I never did go back and talk about what they were. So for $90, which is an insane deal, I got the Trails of Cold Steel Decisive Edition and the Trails of Cold Steel 2 Relentless Edition on the PS4. Guys, these are complete in box. And with these two pickups, which by the way, they've got really cool steelbooks in here, I now have a complete set of the PlayStation 4. Do I want to call it PlayStation 4 because I've gotten the newer ones on PlayStation 5. But anyways, I have all of the collector's edition of Trails of games. Minus like the collector's edition of Sky that was on PSP. It's on my to-get list, but I do have a collector's edition of Sky FC, the remake, coming from Limited Run on the PlayStation. So I was really happy to pick these up. I'm not too Cold Steel yet. I beat Zero in Azure last summer, and I decided recently, and when I say recently, I mean like last year, that I'd go back to Sky after beating those two games, which I beat Sky. I was going to go into Sky 2, Sky SC rather, but I haven't done that yet much. I played a little bit of it. I'm debating on whether or not I want to jump into that soon, or if I'm going to play the remake of the first Sky game before playing Sky SC. So, we'll see. Yesterday, my wife and I went on an adventure. Went to Pittsburgh, hit a couple coffee shops. One was new to me that she had found recently that was amazing. Everything made from scratch, including the coffee syrups. Like, the breakfast was incredible. Like, homemade breakfast sandwich, like even homemade stuff. It was ridiculous. But anyways, during adventure, when we hit the coffee shop, we also went to a couple video game stores. And by we, I mean she's at the car like video game stores. First off was Warp Zone. You've heard me talk about this place before. And I've got a number of games here. I decided recently to start bulking up my PS5 collection, especially RPGs. And also, I want to get more PS4 RPGs. There's a ton of RPGs in the system. And pretty much the only ones I have physical copies of up to this point were like the Trails of games, or the Tales of games, and my collector's Trails games. So first I have this really cool, I found Persona 5 Royal, the Steelbook Edition. This is a really cool steelbook. I also, truthfully, would like to have the PS5 Trails of... I'm stuck on Trails here. Persona 5 Royal Steelbook Edition. If I come across it at some point, I'll pick it up. I'm not, in any massive hurry to grab that or anything. And then this is the only Final Fantasy game, as far as the mainline series is concerned, that I didn't own a physical copy of, and that is Final Fantasy 15. And this is a pretty, as most recent Final Fantasy games are, pretty divisive game. This one, like, for me, like, I played through it when it came out. I liked it, but the last act was pretty terrible. It just needed more time in the oven. So I probably won't play this, but I am also looking for the Royal Edition, and I will upgrade to that version when I find it. So next, I have some PS5 games. I got a few of those yesterday as well, because like I said, I'm looking to kind of bulk up my PlayStation collections. And the first one I got, this has been several weeks ago at this point, was Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. I got this on Amazon on the Prime Day deal for like $25 or $30. They actually looked at the PS4 version first, and I returned it because it was supposed to be the PlayStation 5 version, but you know, things happen, I guess. And I went back and picked this up. I already had Rebirth, and I'll probably gonna pick this up again on the Nintendo Switch 2, but I didn't have a copy of Final Fantasy VII Remake at all. And I was like, okay, it's time to go ahead and do that. So, and again, I beat this on PS4. I played Episode Intermission on the PlayStation 5. I don't know, and unfortunately, you guys can hear the disc is loose in this case. It's rattling around, but I'm keeping it sealed because I don't need to open it up additionally. I probably won't replay this here. I might replay this on Switch 2. I have not yet decided, so we'll see. Alright, next up we have, and I'm looking at my pickups here, and I think I'm missing something that I did bring over here, but I'm not going to worry about it at this point. Maybe right here in the video, it's whatever. Maybe I'll edit it in if I find it, but it's fine. One of the things I wanted to get for the PlayStation 5 is I'd like to have all the Resident Evil games physically on the PS5, because all the remakes plus PS5 versions of the newer games are all available on the system. So I found that, by the way, we're still in the Warp Zone pickups. Resident Evil Village. I found this yesterday. This was only $15, which most of these games, by the way, like Final Fantasy 15 and Steelbook Persona 5, those were like $10, $20 a piece. So I went ahead and got this one. This isn't one of my favorite Resident Evil games by any stretch. I like the first half of the game a lot. Like, in my opinion, the first half of the game is not quite as good as Resident Evil 7, but it's definitely up there. Like the Dollhouse section, which is like the second main area of the game, is probably the scariest section of any video game we've ever played, which is awesome. I'll probably replay this at some point. Resident Evil 9 is coming out soon, so I might replay the newer games. And then finally on the PlayStation 5, I do not have a copy of this game, believe it or not, so I figured I'd go ahead and pick it up. And that is this is the launch edition, actually, of Marvel Spider-Man 2. And this is sealed. It was only $40, so that was a pretty good deal for the launch edition. I kind of want to revisit this at some point for a couple reasons. One, I want to experience it on the PlayStation 5 Pro, but also another reason I want to play it again is because I want to go back and wrap up some of the side stuff. This is a great game. I don't think I like it quite as much as the original Spider-Man, but I like it more than Miles Morales. Which, by the way, when I'm talking about those three games, I'm comparing those three like that, we're splitting hairs here. They are all three like fantastic games. Excuse the coffee interruption there. Alright, so next up we have 3 Nintendo Switch games. And the first one is actually one that I had been looking for pretty much since it came out physically. I just never see physical copies out in a while. And I was at The Exchange, which is a not fantastic, in my opinion, chain of video game stores that is primarily based in Pennsylvania and Ohio. And they had this game. They had it was at regular retail price, so I thought, okay, I'll pick this up. That is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. So this is my childhood right here. Like, I loved Mighty Morphin Power Rangers when I was in, second, third grade. It was like my favorite show. I didn't really get into like the Power Rangers Zeo, which was like the follow to that, or I think Turbo came after that. Those really weren't my thing, and I've not watched any Power Rangers in like, man, 30 years, 30 plus years at this point. Like I don't know how old I was when I stopped watching like the original one when it stopped coming out, but I've always thought that this looked really cool, and I'm a big fan of like old school kind of beat 'em ups, like as far as like the old Ninja Turtle games, things like that. So I'm pretty excited to play this. I will probably be checking this out very soon, within the next week or so. I'll get some impressions if I get the chance. Next up on the Switch, this is another one of my exchange finds yesterday for a really good deal. In fact, yesterday I had some duplicates of some games that I took sorry, this is a Warp Zone find, to Warp Zone yesterday. And everything I bought at Warp Zone, I paid $15 out of pocket for, which is pretty great. That includes like all the PlayStation 4 and 5 games that I bought, plus this game. And that is Disgaea 1 Complete. So, truth be told, like the original Disgaea is the game that I would say put me off of tactical RPGs for the most part. And I know that sounds confusing, like, well, why would you rebuy that game? And here's the thing, like, it didn't put me off of tactical RPGs because I didn't like it. It's because I played it so much that I got burned out on the genre. I put a crap ton of hours into this. And, I know I'm going to be hopefully getting back into some strategy RPGs here in the very near future because of the Final Fantasy Tactics Ivalice Chronicles, I believe is what it's called, that's coming out in September, which I'm very excited about, by the way. I'm a huge Final Fantasy Tactics fan. So, I figure maybe I'll mess around with this at some point. I do want to play Triangle Strategy as well. So, we'll see what I get to. Finally, on the Switch 1, it's kind of funny, I'm actually going to show off. The reason I bought this was because I actually also picked up another game, and apparently I have to play this first because the other game I got is a direct sequel to this. I didn't realize that when I picked it up. That is AI, the Somnium Files. I ordered this on Limited Run, not on Limited Run. I ordered this on Video Games Plus Canada, probably mid-July. I actually just received it a couple of days ago, which is unusual for Video Games Plus to take that long to ship. But the reason why for this is I also pre-ordered something that didn't come out until last week, so they shipped them together since it was the same order, which is fine. I wasn't in a hurry to play this. I'm still not in a hurry to play this, but I've heard really good things about it. It's like a detective visual novel puzzle game of sorts. So in order to play the second one, which I'll lead off with that on the Switch 2 actually, which is it is No Sleep for Kaname Date, from AI, the Somnium Files. So in order to play this, you do need to play, thank you Turbo, you do need to play the first AI, the Somnium Files. This kind of takes place between this one and the second AI game. And this does look cool, I do want to play this. So for that reason, we went and grabbed the first AI on Video Games Plus. And then we'll get to AI 2, or not AI 2. Mostly for Kaname Date, and then maybe if I like those, eventually we'll get AI and Somnium Files too. So I've talked some crap on Code in a Box multiple times. There are 4 current Code in a Box games on the Switch 2, and unfortunately they're all 4 games that I want or wanted. And I still need to go back and pick up a couple. But the first one that I actually got, the one that got me to cave in, and the reason I bought this like Code in a Box as opposed to just buying it straight digitally, is at least like with this, I get to have the case on my shelf, so that's cool for me. But you guys already know that I got this because we did a short. That is WWE 2K25. The Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, acknowledged him. Cody Rhodes is better, but love me some Tribal Chief. OTC. This is excellent. Like, this is what a port from PlayStation 5 Xbox Series should be. This looks every bit as good as the PlayStation 5 version. It runs amazingly on the Switch 2. There's a couple things that are absent, like as far as graphics is concerned, like the entrance ramps aren't as detailed. Some of the ray tracing stuff's not in there, obviously, because the Switch 2 is not as powerful as the PlayStation 5. but like the character models, performance, they are right on par with PlayStation 5. I'm very impressed with this. I played 3 or 4 hours. This is one that I'm going to sit on the couch and play while I watch Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, whatever my wrestling show of choice might be at any particular moment. Next up is the other one of the code in the boxes that I picked up. This is a game that I really, really want to play. I have not gotten to yet because it is multiplayer only and I don't have any friends. Other than Justin. He has not played, unfortunately. Maybe we'll play at some point. If not, one of my other friends. Lee might play it with me. I don't know. Split Fiction. I've heard great things about this. I do have the buddy code that came with this, so I can give the buddy code to somebody and they can play with me without even buying the game. So that's probably how I'll get somebody on board. I have not played It Takes Two, which is the predecessor to this, nor did I play A Way Out, which was the predecessor to that. It Takes Two didn't interest me at all, but this just looks really fun, super cool, so I'm excited to play it. Okay, back into the realm of actual physical titles, and we're going to start off here with Donkey Kong Bonanza. I did a first impressions video on this, guys, if you remember when it came out. I have since, I actually just rolled credits on this about a week ago. This game was amazing. This is right now, like, it's up there, like, with Expedition 33 and another game I'm going to talk about here in just a couple minutes as my game of the year currently. I'm not sure between the three. I'm leaning towards this right now simply because the final act of this game was like a 10 out of 10 by itself. It's an incredible final like hour or two on top of what was already like an amazing game. And I'm excited to go back into the post game maybe. And I don't know that I'm going to 100% this, but I am going to get back in, get some more bananas. Like I said, absolutely game of the year for me. This is a 10 out of 10 as far as that's concerned. Is it a 10 out of 10 game overall? I don't know. I think it's probably still toward a 9.5 because I still have a couple gripes. Like, when I'm playing docked, there's definitely performance issues, which I didn't notice in handheld. So I will give it that. But the fact that the issues were there to begin with, I can't ignore that. And I can't give it a perfect 10 for that reason, but amazing. Okay, next up we have, and this is a game that's been a little controversial on Reddit. I've seen a lot of people complain about this and about how it performs and how it looks. And, I've also seen a lot of people say, these guys are way overreacting. This is fine. And that is Madden NFL 26. We've talked before, guys. I'm a big football guy. I was really excited to try this for the Switch 2. And my excitement was immediately crushed when RGT85 put out his video the day that Early Access came out, and he was very down on the game. Sean, bro, I trust you. You're one of my favorite channels. I typically look at your videos and agree 100% with those. I disagree on this. I have this installed on the Switch hardware itself. This is not on my external memory. And dock performance isn't best. It does have some chugging. Haven't really noticed much actual performance dips during gameplay itself, but when the on-screen graphics come up, like the transitioning from play to its replay, there's definitely some frame drops there. Handheld, however, I really, really enjoyed this in handheld. In fact, I'm already 4 games into my season, and I've already picked this up. I got it on launch day, which was 3 days ago. So, looking forward to playing more of this. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. I traded Aaron Rodgers because nobody wants Aaron Rodgers. Final game pickup here, and this is actually a game I already had, but they announced a Switch 2 physical of it fairly recently, and I had it on Switch 1. I was like, okay, I'm upgrading. One of my best friends, Lee, shout out to Lee, he's really big into these kind of games, but he's saving some money right now because he and I are going to go to the Walt Disney World in November, so he's trying to save some money. And I thought, hey, they just announced this physical version for Switch 2, and I really want this. So I pre-ordered it, and I gave him the Switch 1 version because I don't need both. And this is again, this is a game of the year contender for me. That is Fantasy Life The Girl Who Steals Time. This is also, again, this is a Japanese import because once again, we did not get the physical in the States. The Japanese spine kind of annoys me just because of the fact that it's the only Japanese spine on my shelf, but I don't care because this game is tits. This game is super tits. I was super excited that I got this in the mail finally. I pre-ordered it. This is the game I pre-ordered from Video Games Plus that I was waiting on, that they waived the Shape AI with. So I already jumped back into this because I had rolled credits before I gave them my copy. And I've been excited to get into the post game. And Turbo is trying to enter the bag. There is stuff in the bag, but cat bag. We've had this. We've done this song and dance before. All right. So, like I had said before, I want to start sharing vinyl pickups, even though I don't frequently buy vinyl. And I thought, what better place than here? What better time than now? If you get that song reference, post it below in the comments. And no, I did not buy vinyl by that band, but maybe sometime. So the first one I want to share, this is like one of my all-time favorite bands. And I found this yesterday. These were all three from the exchange, by the way. And that is Queen's Greatest Hits. Guys, I love Queen. Queen is, again, one of my top three favorite bands of all time. Matchbox 20, Queen, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Don't make me choose an order because I can't. I used to kind of have Linkin Park up there on that list, but I gotta be honest, guys, I'm not feeling new Linkin Park. I'm not feeling the new singer. Just doesn't do it for me. So they really dropped off for me. But this has got some great tracks. We got the Bohemian Rhapsody, Another One Bites the Dust, Killer Queen, Bad Bottom Girls, Bicycle Race, You're My Best Friend, which this just keeps going. Don't Stop Me Now. Crazy Little Thing Called Love. Somebody to Love, like banger after banger, which you'd expect from a Greatest Hits album. So I was super happy to grab this, and I will be listening to this pretty soon. The next one I kind of picked up on a whim, and I'm a fan of this artist, which I think a lot of people don't really realize that I like this guy. But this was I'm guessing this was actually printed a long time ago. I'm looking at the dates on here. Maybe not as long as ago. It looks like this is a print from 2019. So hang on one second, guys. We almost had a disaster there. Cat's knocked us down. Cappy, you want to come to the video? Nope, tail only. Anyways, I thought this was super cool vinyl, and I do like him. This is Elvis live at the International Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. And again, this has got really good. It's got all the hits, All Shook Up, Blue Suede Shoes, Love Me Tender, Jailhouse Rock, Heartbreak Hotel, Hound Dog. All the hits here. There's actually a cover of Yesterday and Hey Jude. I'm looking forward to listening to that, even though I'm not a big Beatles fan. I do like those two songs. In the Ghetto, underrated Elvis song. My favorite Elvis song, however, is on here, which is why I wanted to buy this. Suspicious Minds. Guys, that is one of the greatest rock and roll songs of all time. I'm really excited to listen to this. So, we'll be listening to that maybe here a little later today or this week. Finally, if I were to held a gun to my head right now saying pick one of your three favorite bands as your favorite, we'll probably lean toward Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is their Greatest Hits album. I had the CD of this a long, long time ago. High school me had the CD. In fact, I probably still have it somewhere. It's probably upstairs. And again, this is, doesn't look like this is the entire Greatest Hits album. Maybe it is. I think it is. But again, banger after banger, Under the Bridge, Give It Away, Californication, Scar Tissue, Soul to Squeeze. My favorite song from them, Other Side's on here, Suck My Kiss, By the Way, Parallel Universe. Man, these are great songs. This is such a great album. All of their albums are pretty much great albums to me, but this is just a compilation. So that's awesome. So yeah, those are my pickups that I've gotten kind of throughout the second half of the summer. I'll do another one of these here probably around October or so, just because I've got a lot of Switch 2 games that I'm planning on picking up over the next couple months. Because, guys, I'm a maniac. I just can't stop. So until next time, everybody, we'll see ya.